Hi everyone, it's late in the day. Not really making a start on anything today, to be honest. Haven't been sleeping too well lately, so yeah, had a bit of a sleep in today and still feeling like I haven't slept for 3 days. So anyway, I've started on setting out the remaining steel tubing for the feature wall for the deck and the small feature wall which will cover the side gate. So obviously this one is for the side gate. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to fasten this bottom section to the gate itself, so there's no need for a cross bracing because it'll have the gate as it's bracing. The gate comes to this height here, so then I just divided that 900 into 450 and that'll put a brace central to the top of the gate. Yes, another cock up. I don't know what I'm doing to make these mistakes. Obviously too tired because I've set my diagram out here and it clearly shows 4 lengths at 3/8, and then when I come down to here I've written 2 lengths at 3/8 and ordered that. So I am missing the center pieces of tube to finish this feature wall. Now the other thing I've looked at as well is I've got an overall height of 1900, so you divide that and you end up with, I think it's 635 or something. So then I go measure the tubes and I actually have to check the order slip on what I ordered compared to what's in my book, but they're 620. But the weird thing is, if I'd ordered them at 635 they would have been too long, and even at 620 they're too long because the plans were to run horizontally 20mm tube here, so you needed 10mm off each side here, so they should have actually have been 610, and then same up this end, you'd need to take 10mm off each of the tubes. So I don't know, inbuilt calculator wasn't working that day, so and then there's the right angle that I ordered that I was going to use as the tracking system for the sliding gate, and then ended up buying a tracking system, and this was a $54 piece, a 6 meter length and a 1.8 meter length. Yeah, so $50 odd worth of right angle Duragal. Thinking, what the hell am I going to do with it? Can't return it, it's too long. Well, the beautiful thing is, seeing these are too long, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the right angle as my cross beams. So I only need whatever that was, I think that was 2.5, and I'm just going to cut the end off that. That'll join on here, and I won't have to go buy no more steel. And what I thought was going to be waste or scrap steel will actually get used. I was actually down at the steel merchant today because I had to pick up 2 pieces. I had to pick up a 120mm piece of 75 by 75. So that needs to be welded on, but that gives you a good idea of what I was trying to achieve by having the cap sit just above the gate. So that looks alright, I'm happy with that. So that'll get welded in when time permits. And the other thing that I was working on too, the thing is I'm working on too much, but I figure whilst I got the welder out, and whilst I'm in a welding mood, and I'm ordering the steel, just order everything, just order the lot, and just get it done. But yeah, I'm slowly driving myself into the ground. So yeah, it's just like I got those 2 feature walls to do, and then I've got my frame for my welding bench to complete, and that will be it for welding on anything to do with the house, except for one bracket on the gate. It's actually up the top and it goes through a paling. I need to actually cut that off, bring it down, weld it back on, but where there's a cross brace. So the I think it's a roofing screw that's currently in there, and they work fine. They work fine going into the cross braces, but into a paling they don't work. So yeah, I've got to get that gate nice and stable again. So yeah, I went down and I bought 2.440 mil of the Duragal when I picked up the 75 mil piece, and that's enough to finish my entire bench top. And I happened to find, geez, I couldn't believe the price of like sheet. I don't want to go with plate on the on that, because plate's just, for what I use it for, it's way too thick. Now I've got a roll of sheet in the shed which I bought for making panels for the Studebaker, and I don't want to touch that. So I went up behind the garage, and I've had this piece of tin sitting there for forever and a day. Ever since I bought the house, this has been on this property. I never threw it out. I took a cut out of there for something one time, and then this thing just sat up behind the garage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a wire wheel. It's pretty rough on this side though, but it's still, there's no rust holes in it as such. It's actually enough to do one side of the bench. So if I can clean this up, and I'll hit it with some Duragal. I've actually got some paint on Duragal. I'll hit it with that, and I'll have the top for one side of the bench. Then I just got to worry about where I'm going to get the next piece. But the sheets that they sell are, oh, let me get this right now. They're either 1200 by 2400. Yeah, I think that's it. 1200 by 2400, and they don't cut. You've got to buy it as a complete sheet. And I think if I'm going 3 mil thick, I think the price of that's around about $160. And I don't need it all. I only need half of it, if that. Yeah, if that. So, because it's only a meter, the welding bench is a meter wide, and each side, so the side that will sit on top of the bench is 600 deep, and then the part that will fold out is 600, so that's 1200. So probably half a sheet is what I need, but they don't cut. They sell in complete sheets. They don't have a guillotine, and I don't want the whole sheet. So I'm just going to look around for some scrap and see what I can find, see what mates have got lying around under their houses, and see if I can poach a piece from one of them. One of the other things I've got plenty of is aluminium checker plate, but I didn't want to use that because I intended using that for the floors in the Studebaker. So but yeah, I always manage to work something out. I end up always finding that extra piece of steel or whatever I need. Another thing I've been looking at is a handle or gate mechanism, a gate lock. I've had a look online, just bought up gate locks for sliding or locks for sliding gates images, and having a look what Google can show, and some of them you just, like, you can see the lock, but some of them are magnetic and some of them electronic, and it's just really hard to sort of understand how they go together if you've never done one before. So I was looking at something similar to, I hope that's not too dark, guys, a sliding door handle where it's got the hook. Now I measured this up, measured up the door frame last night, and that's 20 mil. I'm using 25 mil tube, but I could always put a spacer in each side to space it out. I think. I know I replaced one of these at my father's house many moons ago, but I don't remember how it all come apart. These ones, I don't like the idea of these ones because you have to cut out the entire side of the door frame, where this one you're going straight through. So if I opt to go with something like that, and I need a little bit more here, I've got a couple of options. What I can do is, I've got some leftover scrap of this. If I need to go wider, I can just cut the side out of here for what I need. It might only be the size of a pin, you know, that goes through the lock, but it might need to be wider. So all I'll do is I'll just weld another piece of tube on there, but cut it out. So cut this side out, cut the side out of the add-on piece, so you've got basically a C channel and a C channel, and weld them together, and basically that'll give you a nice 50 mil rectangular hollow inside, and then you can go in through the side. If that's not any good, what I can do is cut a piece of this, weld one piece to here, one piece to the other side, and then get a piece of some 20 mil offcut Duragel, which I have just a little bit of, which it will be enough for the width of the sliding door lock, and weld it between the two plates, and then that will give me something extra to mount to. So I've got a few options there. So even this may not end up getting wasted. And if I don't use it for the gate, what I can do is, where the actual gate height sits, I can weld this across so that the top of the gate will actually be supported by this as well. So, and it'll give me something to fasten to, because currently if I fasten that panel that I'm building to this gate, my mounting holes have to go through here, which is 20 mil back from the face of these. If I weld that on, I can sit it across here and go through these to fasten it on. So there's a few options there, but the beautiful thing is, every bit of steel is going to get used, and I'm going to get all remaining projects finished with what I've got, and I won't have to buy any more. Hallelujah, far out. So that looks like a job for tomorrow. Yeah, I think my little break might soon be coming to an end. I've had a couple of weeks off on stress leave from work. Just needed to clear my head a little bit, and you know, it's personal leave, so it's not costing the company anything. So yeah, I'm sort of getting sort of everything up here sort of back together, and I enjoy doing this type of thing because that helps me. It helps me settle. It helps me calm down and relax. So, although some might not see it as therapy, it is definitely therapy for me. and I can be my own boss. Not that I, in general, working everyday working life, I want to be my own boss. Done with the responsibilities, been there, done that. Had my own business. Have been supervisors for companies. I don't want the responsibility anymore. They always say the further up the ladder you are, the further you have to fall, and that's very true sometimes. And you'll always be the first to blame when something goes wrong, regardless of the circumstances. So yeah, but here it's not so much being your own boss. You sort of can move at your own speed, and it's relaxing and it's therapeutic. So you know, I could be curled up in bed and hiding from the world and not getting anything done and not getting back on track. So yeah, I find this a calming way, even though I get frustrated and make mistakes. And that's you know, I expect that when my anxiety levels are at a out of control level, and I'm having panic attacks. And once you sort of get through that, then the depression hits. You need to take it easy, and you need therapeutic things. You need things to make your brain keep ticking over, so you don't fall into that deep depression. It's hard for people to understand that don't suffer from it, but yeah, I'm not going to make this a video about depression and everything else, because there's a million other people on YouTube that do that. But just this will let you know that, or give you an understanding why in the next few weeks the videos will slow up. It's because I won't be home during the week. I'll be back to a normal Monday to Friday work schedule, and then only have the weekends, and I don't know when skydiving's going to start up again. This weekend though, we are working on Paul's Mustang, so that's going to be the first time since about February that we've done any work on the car. The plans for this weekend are we are going to rebuild the power steering ram and get all that painted up and looking pretty. The other job that we're going to do is we're going to work on the diff. The diff's in really good condition, but we're going to change out the oil. I've told him to go get a gasket kit this week, so I want inner and outer axle seal gaskets and the diff center housing gasket. It's an 8-inch, so the axle seal gaskets are the same as a 9-inch, and then the 8-inch is the same as what they put in the XT GT, but this is out of an American Maverick. So as far as we know, they're the same. It's a Maverick of the same year as the XT, so it should go in, or the gasket should fit. I've got to stop walking around too. What else are we going to do? Yeah, so we're gonna get all the diff center all flushed out and new gaskets, and I'm going to rebuild all the brakes in it. So we're going to pull all the brakes apart, clean up all the springs, get it looking all pretty in there, all the parts, paint it all up, all the paint up all the brake drums. I hope he's got the machine, because I told him last December to go get the machine, so I'm hoping he got a machine. I can't remember, so, but we're going to need them this weekend, so we need those drums. I've told him to put new wheel cylinders in as well, if we're going to the extent that we're going to rebuild the whole lot. You put new wheel cylinders in it, so I hope he's got some of those. He's got most stuff, he just doesn't know where he puts it. So yeah, I hope he's looking for them, because he knows what we're doing this weekend. So it'll be the diff and brakes, and power steering ram, and we're going to try and do that over 2 days. But Saturday we have to finish at 3. We've both got something on, and we'll just pick up at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning and continue what we left off on Saturday afternoon. So there'll be another episode in the Mustangs series coming soon, and I'll definitely keep you up to date over the next couple of days with this. I called Cabot's, whose stain I used on the deck today, and I asked them, did you receive an email 2 weeks ago via your website? I sent it via your website. I spoke to one of your sales representatives a week before, got all the information I needed so I wouldn't make a mistake when I went and ordered the stain. And this guy's looking through the emails. He asked me what date it was. I gave him the date. I sent the email. He goes, mate, there's nothing here. Asked for my surname, had a look under that, nothing there. He says, there's nothing in the system. I said, okay, well, this is the story. And I gave him a brief rundown of what's happened with the colour of the deck. And he asked me if I still had that email that I sent. I said yes. I did copy and paste it and put it on my desktop. So I can send you this exact same email I sent 2 weeks ago. So if they happen to find the original email, it'll match. So I've asked him if he can send a sales rep out that will be in the area, come and collect the 1.5 litre of stain I got left. They can take that back to their technical department, and they can check the levels of tint in the paint. They said if it has been over tinted, then the hardware place I bought it from will then be involved, and then they will have to come to some sort of agreement as to what we do with the deck now. So I'm waiting on Cabot's to get back to me with how they want to proceed with it after having read my email and looked at the photographs. So I gave them pictures of the photograph prior to the deck scrub, after the deck scrub when it was dry, when it looked really, really good, and I thought about clearing it. And then I gave them pictures of the deck after the first coat, and then pictures of the deck with the second coat on it, and then pictures of the deck as it is now, which has got the second coat on it, but 2 weeks after that last coat went on. So I think I sent him about 7 photographs in total. So I think anybody would agree that that is dark grey. It's not what it's supposed to be. But I'll leave it up to their reps. You know, I'm not asking Cabot's to rectify the issue, but it is their product and they need to test it for me. They need an independent test by the people that make it, and to find out whether the third party is actually responsible for the way the colour has turned out on that deck. So really simple. Not screaming at anybody. I just want to get it sorted out so I can get it finished. I'll leave it here, guys. It's getting dark, and going inside and having an early night tonight, I think, because I'm about to collapse, to be honest. Just so exhausted, just so tired. Alright guys, cheers.